YouTube, I don't know what's going on. It would not let me access my camera. I apologize for that as you're coming in. Can you all please share the live? Hit the like button. Shout out to all of the replay viewers. I'm trying to get TikTok back up because I was on TikTok and exited off because I couldn't get YouTube pulled up, and I don't know why. So let me get them back up. All right. All right, so we should be good to go. Again, shout out to all of the replay viewers as you're coming in. Hit the like button. I think I'm live on Instagram too. I never go live on Instagram, but I connected it to my restream, so I don't know. I'm supposed to be live on Instagram too. Share this with 5 people. So this live today is only for those of you who feel stuck. So if you've been telling God things like, I know I obey you, I know I'm obedient, you told me to do X, Y, and Z, I did that and I still feel stuck. This is who this live is for. I'm just coming to share my testimony, a portion of my testimony. He put it on me Sunday to come and share this because some of you you're basically in, one second, y'all, hidden disobedience. So I talk about how obeying God, how there's no safety in that, right? So I talk about that. And I talk about people who make all of these excuses as to why they can't obey God. But then there's some of you who you don't even realize you're disobeying. My mic is on. You don't even realize you're disobeying. So that's what I want to talk about, how trauma had me walking in disobedience and I didn't even know it. What's up, Emily? So I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. It's not going to be long at all. So there are a lot of people in the church, as far as the church world, right? There are people who say, well, God told me to come off this job, or he told me not to work, whatever, which is fine. Now, being an entrepreneur is not for the faint at heart, okay? But there are a lot of people who say that. Some of them, it may be true, they were called to just, be an entrepreneur and work for God and have their time freed up and all of that. For others, there are other people who are saying that, and God is like, I never told you that. There are preachers and pastors. I don't know if we're going to hear this quick. There are preachers and pastors. There we go. There are preachers and pastors who are out here traveling the world saying, oh, I'm an itinerant preacher. I think that's what they call it. God told me to just travel and preach. Meanwhile, your home is a mess. Your wife is unhappy. Your children are growing up hating God because you have too much pride to go get a job. You want to seem great. You want to seem grand. And you're saying God called you to this, but he really didn't. He's saying, go get a job. Hey, Diamond, he's saying, go get a job. Take care of home. Even the Bible talks about how when you're married, how you're supposed to take care of your home first, right? Now, there are people he calls to travel and be on the road, right? But if your home is jacked up and you're on the road preaching to everybody else, baby, you are out of order. So there's this whole thing with, I used to get this word all the time, God didn't call you to work because I think this is like year 4. I don't know. At this point, I've lost contact. I've lost count, y'all. This might be like year 4. As you come on TikTok, can y'all tap my face? This might be like year 4 for me, not working. And I would start getting the prophecies. The Lord didn't call you to work. Okay, fine, cool. But I was still applying for jobs and things like that. Then when I moved to Atlanta and he pushed me into deliverance ministry, it made sense because I wouldn't have had time there's no way I would have been able to work a regular job, a 9 to 5, and do deliverance ministry the way he had me doing it. For those of you that have been following me, I was booked up for like a whole year. not even exaggerating. I took, I think, 2 breaks. Other than that, booked up. Why? Because I was doing it for free. That's a whole nother. She not booked up for a year now, but yeah, booked up for a whole year, right? So even in the midst of that, which it made sense at the time, but I thought, okay, he wanted to birth my deliverance ministry. We did this, we good. Now I can go back to work and then do the deliverance on the side, whenever I want to do it. So I would apply for jobs. Again, today, this live today is for people who are saying, God, I'm obeying you, but I still feel stuck and I don't know why nothing is moving. That's what this live is for. So share it to somebody that you know would need it. Okay. Thank you. So I'm thinking I'm going to go back to work after this is over. Well, I started applying for jobs. I have a bachelor's in psychology. Most of my well, not most of mine, but my background is like child welfare, child protective services, and things like that. I would have loved to go back into that, maybe as a manager, or I even wanted to go into the state office and do something with the laws for that state. Good afternoon, TikTok. I can't see your names, but I see one Cindy. I can't see the name before that. Jen, good afternoon, Jen. So I wanted to even go to the state office and maybe rewrite some laws or something like that when it came to child welfare, child protection. Everybody denying me, denying me, denying me. Even people that I know saying that said, Roneshia, apply for this job and I'm gonna talk to my manager. Denied. It was making no sense. Again, I kept getting the prophecy that God doesn't want you to work. I'm like, okay, but I was still applying for jobs because I'm like, well, he don't want me to be broken. He don't want me to be struggling, and he don't want me to be looking for a handout, and he don't want me to be a bum. So I'm gonna work this job until he gives me something else, right? So ever since I can remember, going all the way back, people have told me, you're supposed to teach, you're going to end up teaching, this whole teaching thing. And I would always deny it. I'm not a teacher. I don't want to teach. I don't have the patience to teach all of this, right? Okay. So, and mind you, I don't sit in the office of a teacher. Okay. Let me make that clear. Bree, hey girl, hey. I don't sit in the office of a teacher, right? But for years, I even told you, well, some of you all may know, there was even a superintendent that came to me years ago, and she wanted me to come work for her. She was like, Roneshia, I need you. No, I can't. I'm nobody's teacher, right? Mind you, I'm still out here. Now, that was before the struggle. At that point, I was working at another job. I don't know when. Hey, Renee, I was working at another job. Not sure what. You can just catch the replay, girl. I can't remember which job, but I did have a job at the time. This is before the Lord birthed my deliverance ministry, okay? So I'm like, no, I'm not teaching. I'm not teaching. That ain't me. Fast forward now, I've done the full year of deliverance ministry, pouring out for free, right? Some people sold, but there are a lot of people that didn't. There were people that sat before me with the money and still didn't sow. The only thing I said was, God, keep my heart pure. And it may sound real cute. It may sound cute. Oh, you're in full-time ministry, but you don't know what people deal with in the background, y'all. Because there were days where I was doing deliverance on people for free, and I had to go days without eating because I didn't have money. And there were people who could have sold and didn't. And then I would sit here, Lord, I don't understand how nobody's picking up on the fact that I don't have food to eat. Hey, Miss Mary, I don't see how they're not picking up on the fact that I don't have food to eat. Then there were times where I needed, I think I can say this on here, pads and tampons, right? And I'm having to pray that somebody sows that I'm doing deliverance on so that I can buy the stuff I need monthly. That ain't God's will. Sometimes we sit and we over spiritualize stuff. Oh, God is trying to test your heart and he's trying to see if you're really going to be faithful and all of that. Let me tell you something. When it comes to basic needs, you shouldn't have to be praying and asking God to send something to fulfill a basic need. Okay, so this video might be for you. I can't see your name. Okay? So nobody can convince me that I had to sit and say, God, please send me money for pads and tampons, because he was trying to test my faithfulness. No, you're being too deep. You need to come on back. Okay. So went through that whole thing, right? Then a prophet told me, she said, Roneshia, because I was still getting denied. I'm talking about jobs I overqualified for. Still getting denied. Girl, M, you are fine, honey. Listen, I don't regret doing the deliverance for free. I believe I was supposed to at that time. But it's just certain things, girl, you fine. Right? So, I forgot. This is why I can't be reading comments. Y'all, where was I? What was I saying? Y'all know my brain. What was I saying, y'all? Where was I at? Thank you for Prophet Seer Twin. Thank you for tapping the screen or sharing. I guess gift and sending a gift. Somebody tell me where I was. I can't remember. Okay, but anyway, sometimes we over spiritualize stuff, right? So out there it is. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I was talking to a prophet, and I was, telling her, she was a friend, prophet friend. And I'm like, can you please pray that somebody hires me? I'm getting denied and rejected for jobs I overqualify for. I'm talking about ministries, Billy Graham, I was applying for their calls. I'm just getting denied for any and everything, stuff in my field, getting denied. So she prayed, she said, God said, oh, honey, I absolutely charge for deliverance services now. Now, I can't speak for anybody else. But my deliverance services are very thorough, and it is not the same as going to an altar. You can come to the altar and I can pray for you, and that is not the same. So I absolutely charge my time, the warfare that I go through. I've talked about how witches, I've been in deliverance, deliverance sessions where witches astral project. It only happened maybe twice, because don't play with me. Astral projected into my house and stood over me trying to intimidate me. So yeah, I absolutely charge now. But when I started out, the Lord told me not to, and I believe it was because he was trying to test my heart and to train me and things like that. So yeah, listen, I didn't think I would ever charge for deliverance until I started doing it. And then I'm like, you called me to do this full time? And then he gave me permission to charge. So there's that. Okay. I kept applying and getting denied. Yes. So I asked her to pray for me. And I'm like, I don't understand what is happening, right? That girl went into prayer and said, God said, you're not going back into a corporate, like you're not going to work in the corporate office. Now I am called to corporate. This is why he has me doing different content on LinkedIn, but that's a whole nother. I am called to corporate. But as far as going in, having a 9 to 5, he said, no, he said, the way he's going to sustain you is that you're going to be working for him and you're going to be doing courses and classes. He said, this is how your provision is going to come. Me, trauma. I'm not nobody's teacher. Guess what I did? Kept applying for jobs. Fast forward, a year goes by, then another year goes by, still applying, getting denied. I'm like, God, this makes no sense. At this point, it never came to me, Roneshia, you need to start the classes and courses. Why? Because trauma. When I started the Surviving Toxic Mother series that he told me to do, if you all have a toxic mother, you need to sign up for it. Shameless plug. You can get all 4 classes. And for class 1 and class 3, I'm even willing to jump on a free Zoom call to assist you with that assignment. I don't know how many people are telling you, buy my replay and I'm going to come sit with you for free to help you, because I'm that serious about your deliverance. But do what you want to do. Link in bio, right? So, that's not good. I can't see your name, but seeing a wolf, that's not good. So it never came to me, right, to do classes and courses. And let me tell you why. The Lord revealed it when I was sitting down doing notes for the Surviving Toxic Mother series. And I'm like, first he started talking to me before I even launched it. He said, one day he just said, because my friends can tell y'all, I was messaging them, it's not making sense. I know I be obeying God, and I don't see why I'm stuck. It's not making sense. I'm not perfect, but one thing I do is I obey God. I don't understand this, right? Even my friends were saying, well, Ro, I don't understand it either. You're obedient and all of this stuff. Like, we don't understand why nothing is moving for you. Baby, one day he said surviving toxic mothers. And I'm like, I can't remember how many times and how many days he spoke it to me before I actually said, okay, I'm supposed to do this now. Because I never thought I would even come out with something like this while my mother was still alive. Okay, so I finally said, okay, I'm gonna do it, right? I put it out, whatever, whatever. I'm doing my notes for the first class, and the Lord tells me the reason why for years you kept denying the fact that you're supposed to teach in some capacity is because all you heard was, you're just like your mother. Mind you, my mom has always been verbally abusive to me, as far back as I can remember up until this day. She's always been verbally abusive, right? So whenever people, trauma, rejection, trauma, whenever people would come to me and they would say anything about teaching, all I heard was, and I'm not gonna cry, oh Jesus, all I heard was, you're just like your mother. And in my mind, I was thinking, these people don't understand what I deal with. They don't understand what I go through. And I did not want that whole you're gonna be just like her. I didn't want it, so I completely rejected it. And because of trauma, I completely forgot about all of those words that I had gotten about being teaching in some capacity. What's up, Paris? I completely forgot about it. When I tell you trauma, Paris said the same. Listen, we know each other's testimonies. Okay, y'all, I completely forgot trauma. When I tell you it will suppress a thing, not one time in those years that I was struggling. And it even, the Lord dried it up so because He will sustain you, right? He will have grace and mercy because I honestly didn't realize it. But there came a point last year where He didn't even let anybody sow into me anymore. He cut the seeds off. No, I'm talking about nothing. And I'm like, God, I don't understand. But He had to do that to push me because trauma had my mind so messed up that the memory of the prophetic words and all of that, it never came up. So He had, in order for me to get to this place, He literally had to push me. He had to cut everything off. And I'm like, God, again, I'm not perfect, but I'm your daughter and I know I obey you. You tell me to do something, I'm going to do it. Now, I may act a fool, I may talk some trash, but I'm going to do what you tell me to do. It's not making sense. It was trauma. What's up, Candace? I don't know if I spoke yet or not. It was trauma. Didn't even remember it, right? So now that you all see, you see these courses and these classes and stuff that's coming out, and y'all, some of you might be thinking, Roneshia doing too much. I don't understand. She just trying to pimp. No, it ain't none of that. Let me tell you what it is. And this may freak some of you out. You know how in the natural, when you're constipated, when you're clogged up, and then you go take a laxative, and that you're not stopped up no more. That thing come flowing. This is what it is. I was spiritually constipated. Trauma, rejection had me spiritually constipated. And it never came up into my memory. It didn't even come in my memory. Roneshia, the Lord let me know these classes and courses were literally, hey Abigail, the only thing that I hadn't obeyed God regarding as far as He's always telling you to do something now. But as far as that point, listen, Paris, as far as that point, that was the only thing I hadn't obeyed concerning. And because of trauma, it didn't even come up in my mind. Constipated. Okay? So again, He wanted me to come on here and share a portion of my testimony because it is possible that some of you are not disobeying because you're trying to be rebellious. Some of you are not disobeying because you're trying to make all these excuses and you're worrying about what people are going to say. Some of you, trauma is causing you to disobey and you don't even realize you're disobedient. You're being disobedient. And I was going to do this whole, walk you all through some enunciations and do a little bit of, a little light touch of deliverance and all that. I'm not doing that. You know why? Because you need to sit with God. He wants you to sit with him and say, okay, God, where did I disobey you? And again, this is only for those that feel stuck. This is only for those that feel stuck and you're like, I'm obeying, but I'm stuck. You need to go back. Lord, what were some instructions that you gave me, even that are suppressed, that I can't even remember anymore? And this is what's causing me to be stuck. I don't even care how small you think it is, you all. You may think it's small. I'm telling you, sit with him this week. My hair is itching. Pat this weave. Ain't no weave in my hair. You're welcome, Mike Millionaire. Sit with him. Go back to see where you have disobeyed. I don't care how small you think the instruction is. Thank you for tapping the screen. I don't care how small you think it is. Trauma will have you looking through a lens, seeing yourself and the entire world improperly. Now that I have obeyed God, I just started I launched my first class, March? Surviving Toxic Mothers. The same thing I thought I never would do until while my mama was living, because I'm just the type of person that tries to protect and protect, even if somebody's hurting me, I still try to protect them. Okay? And now I've done this and then had women come back. Let me put my phone on. Do not disturb. 1 second, y'all. Now I've stepped out in this thing that I thought I wouldn't even do right now. Bree said she needed this. I know somebody did. Honey, I don't have no notes or anything. He was like, nah, you just gonna come talk to them. These comments, Lord, my mind. Touch my mind, Lord. Renee said, girl, if you only knew how much in my business you are because of God. Listen, all I'm saying is he gives us different instructions. If you are just getting on, please go watch the replay. He gives us different instructions, right? I'm like, God, listen, I know the things, the mantles and the prophecies, and even what is in my bloodline. I shouldn't be struggling, especially as one who obeys God. The Bible says if you're willing and obedient, you're going to do what? Eat the good of the land. So why am I struggling? Why am I have to pray about basic stuff? I should be at the point where I'm buying people houses, cars, owning rental properties, sowing into people. You can live here 1 year free until you're back on your feet. Like, I don't understand. But again, trauma. Bree said, I heard a preacher say the other day, you made it out of Egypt, but Egypt out of you? Listen. So again, he wanted me to come on and share this. You all need to go back. Go back and review. God, what is it? What am I doing? I said, God, I know you didn't call me to struggle. There are people mad now that I'm charging for stuff and they think everything is supposed to be free. How are you going to build, especially when first of all, the Bible says a wise man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. But the Lord tells you, okay, this is how you can make money. And now y'all mad because you think if you save, everything's supposed to be for free. You have to know what works in your bloodline as well. On my mom and my dad, guess what? They both had giving hearts. And guess what? That's the blessing, right? But guess what the curse is? Both of them would give so much until they were in need. Guess who's done this many times? Many times. And I have to recognize there's a lot that I do for free. There's a lot that I give away. Okay? But I'm not going to sit and keep giving, and have people try to make me feel bad for charging for what needs to be charged for. Which all of my products, if you go to my page, almost every single product on my page is underpriced. I literally messaged my business mentor this morning and said, can you go look at my products? Because I feel like I underpriced everything. And it's been coming to me, take it up, take the price up. So I'm telling y'all, if I have something that y'all want, y'all better go grab it now because the price is going up. But that's a curse on my mom and dad's side. So I have to break that curse. When people want to make me feel bad, that you have to know this is the enemy. God doesn't want you giving to the point where you're in need. My dad would come home I don't have the money for our light bill because this person's light was about to be cut off. What? So you want your lights cut off? I think I'm done. If you got on late, please go back, watch it from the beginning. Ask the Lord to reveal any places of hidden disobedience, places where you don't realize that you have been disobeying God. For those of you that He has called off of the 9 to 5, okay, fine. But what did He tell you to do? I was texting a friend yesterday and I told her, I said, I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're learning your lesson now. I think she said she hadn't been working in about 6 months. Baby, it took me almost 4 years to learn my lesson. I said, I'm glad you learned yours early. Okay? Go back, listen from the beginning. I even talked about pastors and preachers and stuff that are saying they're itinerant, but you really got too much pride to get a job, and the Lord didn't call you for that. Yes, He did call some to be full time on the road or whatever, but if your house is jacked up, if your wife is unhappy, it's taking everything for her to not cheat on you because you're not meeting any of her needs. Then the children you're raising, your children are starting to hate God because daddy is never home. Baby, you out of order. You just are. So either you're supposed to be getting a job and you're not supposed to be preaching full time, or you're taking too many engagements. And if you have to take all of these engagements and have your house lacking, Lord have mercy, because you need the money, you still out of line. So you need to say, Lord, what is happening? Multiple streams of income. I'm just a messenger. Candace says she's been struggling with prices too, but I gotta remember, listen, I had a meeting, a one-on-one with my, you have to know the value people have. I had a meeting with my business mentor yesterday, paid for a one-on-one. I didn't even use the full time because she answered all my questions and gave me the strategy and wisdom. She gave me all of that, everything I needed. So I wasn't on there. Well, I'ma just stay on here to get my money's worth. No, I already got my money's worth. Bye. I think I had maybe like 20 minutes left in the session. Some of y'all wouldn't even want to pay what she charges, but whatever. Um, and I just forgot to ask her to look at like all of my products. But it's one thing I'm launching this year, something I have to do, a boot camp. And I told her my price. She looked at me. I said, "Well, what what price do you think?" Baby, she gave me the price almost 5 times as much as I was charging. But I'm telling you, Candace, I don't know if you signed up for Ryan Lestrange's. He's having something right now. It's a free 3-day event. If you didn't sign up for that. And it's, please go back and watch day one. If you don't watch anything else, watch the first day. I had never heard of this lady. She has the biggest Christian marketing firm. Don't get me to lying. But what's up, Logic? Don't get me to lying, but go back and watch her video. If you don't watch anything else, you can go to his Instagram page and sign up. When she started talking, when I tell you it was like deliverance, she started talking about Christians who don't want to charge and make you feel bad for charging. She said, well, how are you going to set up the generational wealth? Baby, she can't. Go back and watch at least. And I've learned to not plug people because I've gotten in trouble for doing that before. But I'm telling you, hey, Wendy girl, thank you for the gifts. Go back and what's her girl? I don't know her name. Let me see if I can find it. It's a white lady. She's a pastor. Let me see if I can find it. I'm pretty much done, you all. If you want to, for those that have to go, just make sure you watch the replay. Again, this video was for people who feel stuck. I'm going to look it up, Candace. People who feel stuck and you're like, no, God, I obey you. I don't understand why I'm stuck. There may be some hidden disobedience somewhere. Let me go to his page. Of course, night 2, Prophetess Sophia was on there. You may already follow her. Her session was phenomenal also. The only reason I said make sure you watch session 1 is because of how that lady got on there and she just went for the jugular. Like she started on 10 and cast that mess down. Her name is Natalie Breckenridge. Natalie, let me see if I can put this in the chat. All right, that's it. It's in the chat. Again, now I don't know her personally. I just signed up for his event. Never heard of her before, but I've never been an entrepreneur, but that's okay. I've never been an entrepreneur, but that's what I believe I'm supposed to do. Okay, you need to be seeking God and studying. Okay. All right, I'm done. Thank y'all for liking the live. Thank you for the gifts. TikTok, can you get me to 1,000 real quick? And since I've decided to obey God, because when He told me this is why you would always go against this teaching thing, since I stepped into that, of course, I'm building from the ground up and I'm having to change my audience because it's my fault. Y'all got used to me doing everything for free. So I can't even be mad at y'all. I can't be mad, but she's not there no more. So it's taking time for me to go and build my audience and attract people that don't mind paying. But guess what? The Lord is sustaining me. And it feels good to wake up and you see somebody has bought one of your courses. Okay? Somebody has gone and purchased one of your products. You don't have to pray for basic stuff anymore. And there are doors opening that I literally can't even talk about. And I'm not just saying it. Mind you, I just launched this, mid-March or something? But that's what happens when you obey God. I received that, Candace, in Jesus' name. So I want you all to sit with God, and you got to be open. If you're not going to be open to Him saying, this is where you missed it, don't even waste your time. But you have to be open. Sit with God. Lord, bring it up. Is there anything that trauma has repressed that is causing me to disobey you and I don't even realize it? Y'all, Candace is one of the ones, I hope you don't mind me mentioning her name, that would say, I saw you teaching in a dream and you was teaching me this. Girl, how am I gonna teach somebody something? That's what I would say. I'm nobody's teacher. Sit with God and ask Him. Now, let me share this real quick. Some announcements. I'm having the Wolves and Collars class. So this is for anybody who has dealt with church hurt. If you dealt with church hurt, y'all love to scream church hurt, and you go on these smear campaigns and you all over social media talking about what happened to you. All right, well, come on so I can help you heal. Clock it. Those of you that have dealt with church hurt, those of you that have dealt with abusive leaders, cult-like churches, if you were told when you left the church that you gonna die, your pastor tried to curse you, baby, I can't wait to share my testimonies. Remember that I told you that the Lord kept highlighting those of you that have been violated, because TikTok will delete me, violated by your leaders, violated. They telling you their wife, violated, or they turned you out, because I talk about it a lot. Not a lot, but I talk about how some of these pastors are bashing these rainbow boys, but y'all are the ones that emmed them, and that's why they're this way. But nobody wants to talk about it because you're the great bishop. How we have to honor you, but you're the one that was graping these children, and that's why they're like that. And it happens with the females too, these prophetess and evangelists. Some of them have turned out your daughters. I started to share something, but I'm not going to share it in respect to that person. But it's not just the men, some of the women too. Okay? So if you've dealt with any of that, I'm going to be teaching on the spirit of Leviathan, Jezebel, religious witchcraft, and Python. Those are some of the main things I'm going to be teaching on. And then I'm going to cast it out at the end, just like I did in my rejection class. All right? What else? If you need my Burden Bears Detox, you've been carrying too much, go grab it. Link in bio. It is lit. I've been getting good reviews on that. And just go to my Pensight page. Whatever you need, I promise you, is probably there. Okay. If you don't need this class, the only thing I ask is that you pray for me, because it's very heavy. It's very heavy, and these demons I'm coming against and all of that. You can go watch the video. I told y'all the Lord kept showing me Lovi and Passion Java. I don't know if some of his people are going to come. They're false prophets. They are warlocks. It is what it is. And y'all know I'm not the type to call out anybody, because I feel like some people, they call out people all the time. If God tells you to do it, that's one thing. And I was even shocked. I've been feeling like for months I need to get on here and either do a video or go live and talk about necromancy. I was really shocked. I got you, Renee. Okay. Candace, pray my strength. I was really shocked because I saw a couple who I thought knew better. They got online talking about necromancy and talking to the dead, and how they don't mention it because it's a deep thing. People don't understand the deep things of God. And they started sharing how, I thought I was tripping. I literally took the video and sent it to a friend. I said, hey, because I know she be listening at them sometimes. I said, hey, I got to be hearing stuff. Go watch this video, because they can't be saying, hi, Sharon. They can't be saying what I think I heard them say. Let me tell you something. The Bible clearly speaks against necromancy. And anybody that's telling you it is okay to speak to the dead, you need to mark them. Hey, Candace, you need to mark them. They're into witchcraft. Nobody should be telling you that it's okay to talk to the dead. That's just a really deep thing that people don't understand. Y'all making me want to cuss. Let me get off here. I'm not going to cuss. Praise the Lord. I'm not going to cuss. All right. Love y'all. I got to go. Keep me in prayer. Again, wolves and collars. I was about to say wolves and toxic collars. Wolves and collars, grab that. If you need the Surviving Toxic Mother series, grab that. If you need a devotional, 7 days closer to God, just get what you need, all right? Before the price goes up. Love y'all. Bye.